Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Hey, Julie.
Hello.
The link on the main club page is not working for me for some reason.
Oh, you know what? I noticed that this week too and forgot. The link on the homepage doesn't go anywhere correctly. The one that's,
It should only do so when the meeting starts itself.
It just says it cannot reach
It should
the
only do live
page.
meetings.
I was saying you should have told me it was Weiss speaking
Sorry.
because I know that.
Oh, okay.
it has a bad link. It's showing it can't reach the page. It shows this.
How are you, Jack? How are
I
things?
can't correct that.
I know. I'm just telling you. As a matter of fact, I'll go do it right now.
Trying to find myself a spot from that. People, because I can't do the buzzing.
You're doing the buzz.
Yes, I'm the third friend. And I swallowed frog downstairs. And been like, coughs every time.
Yeah.
No, you're muted.
Sarah, can you hear me? Am I right? This good?
Yeah, now you can.
Oh. You don't have to go in. You don't have to go in. All right. Well, I've known Martha for years and years and years and years. Years.
There's a PowerPoint and a PDF on there.
Excellent.
You want to put it on?
I'll use the
Yeah.
PowerPoint.
Mr. Thomas, if that's all right.
It's all right.
The PowerPoint or the PDF?
I have to go.
Which one?
Sorry, I can't read. Just do
Rotary meeting?
that's it. Schoenberg. Elaine on there. That's the one.
Okay,
Thank you, kindly.
no problem.
Hi, Gene.
Hey, Wes.
And I'm not.
I'm going to text you. How do I get you the links for my
You email would be best. You can email links, or we can unplug real quick if you want.
Like today.
Sorry, people who are joining us live. Give us just 1 minute. We're going to start, okay?
There is one.
Hey, Bruce.
At one time I did put something in
Hey, Rosemary, how many people do you have coming to the picnic tomorrow?
At 32 or 34.
Oh, that's a good crowd.
Yeah, and Harris is going to be there for $5.
Nice.
I'll get to see him perform.
Yeah, really.
If I can, I'll
Say
take
hi.
a movie and send it to you.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
Let's see it. Say hi to him for me.
Yep.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
If I could please ask everyone to be seated. Excellent. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is 12:40, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. If you don't mind, could we please rise? Today is Friday, August 21st, seventh meeting of our Rotary year this year. My name is Wes Crockett. I'm the president of the Schaumburg-Hoffman Estates Rotary Club, the finest Rotary Club in this land. I think we're going to have a great meeting today. We have speakers. Martha and Jeff Weiss are going to talk to us. We're really looking forward to that. And we're going to talk a little bit about Queen of Hearts and what we're doing there. So if we start the way that we always do with the Pledge of Allegiance. Dad, can I ask you to lead us?
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we could go with the four-way pact. Brian Berg, would you mind leading us?
First,
I will have the courage to tell the whole truth. I will be kind in the way I tell it. I will be fair and not seek selfish advantage. I'll have an open heart and an open mind. Please be seated. Wonderful to have everyone with us today. Thank you. And I would like to start by going around and introducing the guests we have today. And thank you to those guests who are joining us. If we could start with Bob, your table, would you mind introducing the guests for us?
I mentioned I'm from Buffalo Grove Club.
Jeff and Martha Weiss from the Buffalo Grove Rotary Club joining us today. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Bill Kelly, or Terry Park, would you mind introducing our guests?
I'd be happy to introduce Carl and Joyce Thomas. They're with Five Wire Company.
Carl and Joyce Thomas, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
And I met them 2 weeks ago at Bruno Beach. Started talking, saying, "Are you interested in making the world a better place?" And they said, "Well, you know, we're thinking of having some time."
That's wonderful. Terry had met them a couple of weeks ago at a Bona Beef, and they decided to join us and make the world a better place. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you being here. You've come to the right place for that, I think. I hope you'll agree. We're going to switch to the uplifting news of the week, and I'm going to have my esteemed video technical colleague, Tom Ghosh, help me out by putting up. It was tough this week to find some good uplifting stories. I'm not going to lie, and that's why I'm going to ask you, when you see some good stories of the week, help me out by sending them my way, because I always appreciate when that happens. First good news story of the week.
Which one do you want?
Anyone, doesn't matter. So, this one's a local one, and I got a couple local ones this week. Former Bears linebacker Sam Acho. There's what we all know, a food desert on the south side. And Sam Acho teamed up with quarterback Mitchell Trubisky and a couple of other Bears. They knocked down a liquor store, and they just opened up a grocery store on the south side. And here they are at that opening. Pretty cool. So nice job to the Bears. This one is nice if you're someone who does not like government drones flying over American soil. A bald eagle this week took out a $900 government drone run by the state of Michigan. So bald eagles are helping us with freedom, I guess, is what's going on there. And last, and this is my favorite news of the week because it's also really local. This week on Wednesday, for the first time, the University of Illinois has developed a new COVID test, a saliva-based COVID test. That for the first time this week, they included the numbers from that test in our daily COVID test numbers, which allowed us as the state of Illinois to go above 50,000 tests per day for the first time. They tested 10,000 people just on Monday with this new test. It only costs $10 per test kit. and doesn't have the reagents that need to be manufactured ahead of time. So this is something that they say that they are in the process of giving to other schools in Illinois, so they don't have what happened to UNC and all the Notre Dame and the schools that are suffering this week. So big up and great job to our state, because I love seeing those things developed in states. So that's pretty fun. Yeah, nice, right?
Yahoo ILL.
Say it again, Jack.
Yahoo Illinois.
They get the results back, Jack, in about 24 hours, they said, or less. You think it's 4 hours or less? That either way, that's wonderful and way quicker. I got a COVID test on Wednesday afternoon, and I got mine back this morning. I'm obviously clear. So it's still happening pretty fast in Illinois, and I'll give them credit for that, right? On that note, is there anyone around us who is happy right now? Nanette's happy. Go ahead, Nanette.
I am $5 happy because 2 Sundays ago, my friends came in from Phoenix and they wanted to go to Topgolf, and Topgolf was full. And even though it was a week before, I thought they'd be there. So I called Mary Sprout and she got us in. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying that, she pulled strings, but she did. And it was great, and we had a wonderful time. So thank you, Mary Sprout.
Nice job to Mary Sprout. Excellent. Who else is happy? We got Bill Kelly. Bill, I'm doing this so the people at home can see and hear you.
I have $20 happy. I just got back from Minnesota, northern Minnesota, where my wife's folks built a cabin 60 years ago, an hour north of Duluth, and this is my very first in-person Rotary meeting since the pandemic broke out in March and had an outstanding lunch.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill. We appreciate it. Thank you. Mr. Jack Lucas.
This morning on the NBC News, they interviewed a 10-year-old boy that's a golfing phenomenon. He's won all kinds of tournaments, and they show him he can really pound the golf ball. It's interesting, his father, his hero is Tiger Woods.
Mhm.
His father's black and his mother's Asian. How's that?
Just like Tiger Woods, huh? Nice. Happy for that. Anyone else with us today happy? Tom, do you see anybody joining us
Hey,
online
Eileen.
who is happy?
Wes, it's Eileen. 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 Okay, Wes.
We're working on it, guys. I promise.
Okay.
You want to try? Who wants to go first up there?
How about first? It's Eileen.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I think I'm very excited, actually. 2 fellow Rotarians. I love to share this within our membership. $5 shout out to Mike Olak. Thank you, Mike. The refi on my house was brilliantly done, stress-free. Did it on my front porch. Beautiful experience. 2.87, guys. So thank you, Mike. And Chris Hinojosa, that we time and time again throw a shout out, but I can't say enough. I had to have some work done on my car, and my Lexus is a 98. So my baby's been around a while, and the front seat was split. Chris got it to a craftsman that you would never know that there was anything ever done on that car. It's beautiful. And he detailed, did the winterizing, everything. So Chris and Mike, love doing business with my fellow Rotarians. Thank you. Thank you. Oops, we lost you, Wes.
I got 10 happy dollars. Unplug it. I got 10 happy dollars because I had a great week. Because on Wednesday, I got to golf at Cantini for the first time. Stepped up to a par 3, one of those holes in a tournament where it's closest to the pin. 205 yards, a 3 hybrid I pulled out to hit it within 5 inches of the pin. Still, I birdied it, thank God. So closest that I've ever been to a hole-in-one there. My best friend Dan was just promoted from a tech sergeant to a tech sergeant in the United States Air Force this week. So it's a huge raise, and it's one of the toughest positions to be at. Also is my 3rd anniversary this week. So I'm excited about that. Thank you. So I'm $10 happy. I've had a great week. I don't see any more happy dollars around. Do you, Tom?
Anyone else online?
I see Bill's bust there. Big American bust. Thanks,
Hubba,
Bill.
hubba.
We are going to go to club business and announcements. And one of the first things I was hoping to do is read to you guys an email from Jim McCullough. And I know there's a couple Rotarians who are in on this email, but sharing an important update with us about Bonnie, who we know has just gone through some surgery. And I'm going to share that with you. Give me one moment. Jim McCullough. Jim says, hi all, please forgive me for sending an email instead of calling. I just got home and I'm sure I wouldn't have been able to complete all the calls. Today's surgery replaced 4 worn out discs with spacers. Procedure, according to the surgeon, was very difficult, but also very successful. Bonnie was in the OR from 9 until 5 o'clock yesterday. That's a long time. I didn't get to see her until about 7:30. The folks in recovery were kind enough to let me stay beyond the pretty strictly enforced 7 o'clock ending for visiting hours. I'm pleased with the care she's getting, and I'm sure that they will make her as comfortable as possible. I'll be back in the hospital tomorrow morning, and we'll try to make some calls during the day. By then, I'll have seen the surgeon again and should find out whether or not the rods will be implanted as scheduled on the 25th, or whether or not it's going to be moved up to this Saturday. Thank you for your kind thoughts, well wishes, and prayers, all of which are very much appreciated. Let's show them some love right now, guys, if you haven't already. Bonnie and Jim, we love you. We love you, Bonnie and Jim. All right. Other club business that we have going on. I was hoping to, and Tom, if you could help me so we can have Sarah Billmeyer give us an update on the fabulous work going on with the Action Squad. They had a heck of a week this week, and I think Sarah's got some cool news to share with you all.
Hold on, Sarah.
Hold on, Sarah, one moment.
Turn your stuff off over there.
Yep.
Go ahead.
All right. Hi, everybody. Very exciting news for the Action Squad. So we sent out a survey a few weeks ago to all of our community partners and asked them what was most important to them. What do they need right now? And the first question was regarding personal protective equipment. And we received responses with overwhelming need of PPE. So what we did, we got together, we found an area distributor, we compared pricing, and we are able now to grant 7 community partners $800 for personal protective equipment. So thank you so much, Bruce, who did a lot of work on this. He put together an order form and we sent it out to the community partners. It's due back to us August 25th. And what we will do is make the bulk purchase, and then it will be shipped to the Hyatt here because the managers and owners are so grateful. We get to distribute it from one of our meeting rooms. The hotel is safe. We have all precautions in place, and we'll schedule for each community partner to come in and pick up their very needed PPE. So very exciting news. It was so great to get that out to everyone. And then Eileen received a call, and it looks like we have a network of approximately about 30 other non-for-profits that are in need of personal protective equipment. So what we're going to do is get on a call on Monday, discuss options of ordering, and try to get them linked into this distributor that is helping us. And actually, this distributor was given to us from our owners who so graciously wanted to help as well. So some points on the 30 additional non-for-profits. It costs absolutely nothing to the club. We're just helping to facilitate this to get them the product that they need at a really great cost. It's going to be a short-term project, about 2 weeks. And I'd like to say a huge thank you to Mike Erickson, who has agreed to head up the organization of this, and also get the satellite club involved. So we do need to ask for about 3 or 4 volunteers who may be able to come over and help organize everything and get it out to the community as we get this all finished up. So if anyone's willing to do that, love to see hands or give us a shout about it. So those are the 2 huge things that are happening with the Action Squad right now. Again, super excited about it. And then I'd like to do one other announcement, but if anybody would like to volunteer now, please let us know. Any takers?
Bill Kelly and George Panopoulos.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I can't hear you, Wes, but I'll catch up with you. The last one is we're really excited. So one of the new initiatives this year is to add an environmental project into what we'd like to do for community service. And a few weeks ago, if you were on the meeting, you heard from Bill with Blue Star Recycling. It's electronics recycling. And what we're going to do is give $2,000 that was budgeted into the CS discretionary budget out of the foundation. And we are putting that money into a van that is a van between Blue Star Recycling and other Rotary clubs within our district. And we get 2 weeks a year to organize electronics recycling drives. So very exciting. We can incorporate fundraisers into this as well. There are a lot of really great ideas coming along. We're working on our liaison right now, and hopefully I'll have some more information to you soon. So I'll give you updates as they come, but some exciting stuff.
Congratulations, Sarah. You are doing just incredible work.
To announce again who volunteered because the online didn't hear.
Gotcha.
Throw in the buzz, too.
Just so you know, Sarah, the volunteers that I had were Glenn Shergott, Bill Kelly, George Panopoulos, and Bob Fleischer, just so you know. So thank you for that, guys, for volunteering. Rotarians stepping up as usual. Very on brand for us. So other club announcements that we have, Sarah, just well done. Well done. Action Squad update, we did Bonnie. So today your board approved a new method of conducting our Queen of Hearts. So now our Queen of Hearts is going to go virtual, just like everything else that has gone virtual. We are contracting with the same company who does the 50-50 and Queen of Hearts raffles at Blackhawks games and other sporting events. We're going to sell tickets the same way that we've always done, and what we're going to do is have a drawing here every single week to do this, just like we do for the people at home and the people here. And you'll be able to buy tickets throughout the entire week at a website that's set up just for us, the Schaumburg-Hoffman Estates Rotary Club. And this also will allow us to sell tickets beyond these doors, which will allow us to go out to, say, our community partners like Gigi's, like KYC, like POC, who have helped us in the past by selling tickets to these events. Now we give them something to talk about and do and help us out with on a weekly basis. So we're going to open this up beyond just our club. Stay tuned for updates on it. It's going to take us a couple weeks to actually set up, but Tom and I had the meeting a couple weeks ago when we just talked to the board about today. The board is on board, and I hope all of you are as well. So Queen of Hearts is coming back, and the idea is, you know, if you guys all heard about in McHenry, I think there was a Lions Club or something where they got up to $1 million+ or something like that. There's no reason why we couldn't do something like that. It's maybe a little bit more than that. Yeah.
Got up to 7 million.
Got up to 7 million. So it's something just out of control, ridiculous, that gave them a lot of notoriety beyond just what they're doing. And there's no reason why our club couldn't do something like that as well. So stay tuned. We got good things coming there. Last is the perfect attendance is one thing. You can come up, Holly, too. So last for me, at least, sorry, is perfect attendance. Something that we have not talked about this year because Rotary says, as an edict, RI says, you cannot make people show up for in-person meetings. And that's totally fine because we have what is a fabulous virtual option that we're giving our people at home right now. But then there is the question of how do we take perfect attendance? What does that look like? Because we've taken attendance, of course, up to this point, but how do you approach that idea when we have people who've been here for so many years? What we're going to do is start the clock this coming September 1st. That's when perfect attendance will start being kept and matter. So for the people joining us online, of course, everyone joining us online is attending the meeting faithfully as well. But everyone who's been to a meeting up to this point, every meeting that you got is going to count as a makeup towards your perfect attendance for this 10.5 month perfect attendance window that we have. Does that make sense to everyone? And is everyone on board for that? Is there any questions about it at all? Well, I'm going to shut up. Holly Fath has an announcement she'd like to make. Holly, please step up.
thanks, Wes. I just wanted to give a little shout out to our vacation drawing. I don't know how everybody's, how is everybody doing with their vacation drawing? I know I know. You know what? We're not doing badly, actually. I expected, we thought about not doing it at all this year because of, no festivals and, how awful it is. And we're way past the point of meeting our fixed costs. So now we're totally into the profit zone. So please, everyone, ask your friends, ask your neighbors. I've sold a lot of tickets just by bringing it up. I mean, it's just something you just have to remember to do half the time. Walking up and down your street is super fun to do. People do not expect to open the door and have you say, like, I'm not selling Girl Scout cookies. I'm an adult and I'm selling vacation drawing tickets. It's really a fun thing to do because it guaranteed sales. Nobody says no. And you're going to be standing there for 20 minutes yakking with your neighbors. It's actually really fun. So that's enough about that. But honestly, we do only have like August and September to get this done. So we're looking at, another 6 weeks of selling of the vacation drawing tickets. I have lots more at home when you run out. We had a good meeting this week, our first meeting with the publicity committee. And we've got some things in the works. We're gonna be doing some spiritware this year. We're gonna be redoing the brochure that we're gonna try to capture what exactly is Rotary, because we all get questions like that. Like what? And we've never really clearly laid it out in a way that is just clear to the world. And we're gonna try to attempt that. And we're also going to really maximize on the Rotarian article about the fishing well, which is unbelievable piece of public relations that we will be using in the club for years to come, with membership and with, not scholarships, not donations. What do you call that? From businesses when they support the club. Sponsorship. Yeah. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's going to be utilized tremendously. So that's it for now. Thank you.
All right. You guys ready to have some fun? I need to bring the energy up just a little bit for our intrepid fine master who is up next. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Fabrini.
Thank you, Wes. For those of you who don't know or are guests here, I'm getting a call. Okay. Fine master can do that. So for those of you who don't know, I'm raising money for the club. Everyone hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. So we have little fines that we send out. Of course, all fines are $2 unless I specify otherwise, like in Ed's case here. And a maximum of $5, which is this is I call it the anti-Alan Gabe fine, because he just keeps going. Also, this is the opposite of the four-way test. I rarely tell the truth. It's only fair to me, so it isn't really, and this certainly does not build goodwill. So I'm going to start out with, pardon me? And no one wants to be my friend. No. Okay, I see that I'm on camera here. Wesley, I have to find you first. I'm going to ask you to come up here just for a second and stand next to me with your the thing on here, your mask on. You have a mask. There you go. So Wesley asked me if I would be on his board, and I said, sure, I'll do that as long as we don't wear the same things, because I don't want people to confuse us. Today we are twinning, and that's his fault because he didn't get me fit.
Who looks better?
I'm the fine.
Yeah, okay,
don't leave.
okay.
Don't leave. Don't leave. Wes, if you could just put those sunglasses on over there just for a second.
Oh, God.
Now you guys tell me, does he look like Eric Church or not? Take the mask off for a second. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, I've never heard that one before.
Yeah. Are you in the CW? All right. So $2 for both of those, Wes. Tom, I'm sorry, Tom. Tom, I'm going to cut to you in a second. Bob Fleischer. So I'm in the board meeting with Bob, and he's got his glasses on like this and his mask on, so he's following protocol. And I said, well, hey, Bob, I asked him a question. He was like, where'd that come from? His glasses were all fogged up, and he was like, I hate these things. So that's going to cost you $2 there, Bob. Carl and Joyce, we don't find guests, just so you know. But if you were to get fined, it would be a $2 fine. But you did have a wedding last year, didn't you? Yeah. And did any business represent you in that wedding? Any? I did. Oh, what is it? A florist? You can go ahead and say it. Fabrini's Flowers. Yes. Let's give them a round of applause. Yeah. You know what? I'm not going to make you pay for the advertising there. I'm going to make the person who brought you in Terry Park. Okay, Sarah B. Can you unmute her just for a second? Sarah, where are those PPE things being delivered to?
The Hyatt.
The Hyatt. Which is it? The Schaumburg Hyatt at 1850 West or East Gulf Road? That same one.
It's 1800, but yes.
It's a big building, and for correcting the fine master, that's another $2 fine. Vince Sanasardo. Vince, did you come from a picnic or are you going to a picnic with that shirt? Just curious. It's a tablecloth. It is. He could take it off, put it down, we could eat off of it.
Red, white, and blue one. It's the patriotic outfit.
See, that's what you see. What I see is a tablecloth. $2, Vince. And Brian Berg, of course, Brian is in the meeting today, and Brian is sitting away from us, which is fine, like what he's doing that right now. And Brian, every time he said something, it was, well, I had a drink with the guy, or he bought me a drink, or I had a drink with this person over there. So, you know what, really, Brian, I'm just jealous. So, but that's still going to cost you $2.
He's well hydrated.
Yes, he is, for sure. And if you want to catch Brian downstairs at the bar, you can find him there. So has anyone ever seen the movie Airplane? Yeah, movie Airplane. Have you seen the guy where he's in the cockpit and he starts sweating and the sweating is coming down, you know, like his face like that? That reminded me of Roger Smith today because he's wearing a jacket and a sweater and he was out in the heat like that. I mean, Roger, nice job. It was a really good rendition of Airplane. Thank you for reminding me of that. Okay, Nancy. You know, so with Nancy, what I do is I write her name down just like I write Vince's name down, and I just wait for them to do something stupid, you know. And so we were sitting 4 people at our table, our picnic table out there, Vince, and George was in the middle of a sentence. I don't remember what you were saying, George, but he was talking directly to Nancy, and Nancy said, "Oh, I got to talk to Egg," and he got up and she walked away, and that was the end of it. Now, the thing about that, Nancy, is, I mean, you got to talk to somebody. I get that for sure. But I had to clean up the mess you left when George started crying. So that's going to cost you $5. Yeah, well, you heard a Rotarian's feelings, and that's no part of the 4-way test, pal. Bill Kelly, the good news about having not Alan Gabe online is that he couldn't hear your phone go off, and I did. Well, doesn't. Well, you know what? Since you're sitting next to the guests and you didn't tell them to turn your phone off, I'm still gonna get you for $2. You just pay it online. That's another. You know what? That's another $2 fine because you didn't know that. Holly, I'm just gonna get you for that Facebook post today. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty funny. That's all I'm gonna say, right? Is that good enough? Okay. Hey, Pat Gronwald. Where's your DJ gig after this? Put the headphones on, huh?
It's Tom's fault. He told me to do it.
It's Tom's fault, she's saying. My fault. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to charge Tom. I'm going to charge you. Okay. Let's see. We've got Nancy, Georgia. We got all those people. Tom G. Tom, in the meeting, Tom kept putting up his company on the thing there. I'm surprised we haven't seen it at our meeting here, Tom. You want to put it up for fun? There we go. That's not Tom.
There it is.
There we go. Yeah. So he's our business strategist, and he's also going to be $2 lighter today. Okay, let's see. Anyone online behind me? If you're on the line behind me, it's a $2 fine because I can't see if you're picking your nose, which is it's already holding the ears up like this. Let's see. Anyone who has not gone to Fabrini Park and seen the new bench that Rotary did, that's another $2 fine. And let's see, if you're not going to Holly's house tomorrow, that's a $2 fine. And if you have not answered Holly whether or not you're going to her party, that's a $5 fine. I'm done for today. All to you now, Eric.
Well done, Jim. And it is a little bit hot up here in this room. Is it just?
Yeah.
So that's why I went when Holly was speaking to the back to try and turn on the air conditioning, and it's on. It's on. Rest assured, it's on. All right. So before our speaker, and we have just one more bit of business before our great speakers are going to come up. I got in the mail this week from our Rotary Foundation a new pin for a new Rotarian, and for those guests who are joining us. For every $1,000 you give to the Rotary Foundation, you become a Paul Harris Fellow plus whatever that number is. And this week, a Rotarian crossed the Paul Harris Fellow plus 8 threshold. Congratulations to Mr. Bill Kelly. Bill, would you mind joining me up here? I have a beautiful pin with 3 rubies in it for you. Congratulations, Bill Kelly. There you are, my friend.
Thank you.
Attaboy. Congratulations, Jim. And if it's all right, I would like to introduce our speakers, if y'all are ready. Joining us today are Martha and Jeff Weiss. Thank you, Martha and Jeff. Appreciate it. They'll be able to see you right there. Speak into it, and you got your presentation behind you.
We're in the same bubble, so
Yeah.
we're going to take off our masks.
Thank you so much for inviting us today. I'm Martha Weiss. I'm a 20-year member of the Buffalo Grove Club. We are having our duck race this year, so you can purchase tickets and win. We have great prizes. Go to BG Rotary /duck race. Buy some tickets and maybe you'll be a winner. The reason I'm here is because they have District 6440 has started a environmental task force. And what they did is they asked for volunteers who would like to be a coordinator for certain clubs. And I was lucky enough to get you guys. So my husband, I'm married to a tree hugger, and he'll talk a little bit about what he does. But this is why we're here today, just to give you some ideas. It sounds like you partnered up with Blue Sky, which we have too in our club. And they're a great organization. And thank you for doing that, Sarah, I think it was. And with that, I'll introduce my husband, Jeff.
Thank you, Martha. And Bob is our coach here. We had a chat with him the other day, and he told us that your last speaker was an easy act to follow, Raja Ramamurthy. And as we were driving here, we heard him being interviewed on the radio. So he sends his regrets. He couldn't come back today. Instead, you're stuck with us. And the topic of our conversation is one that you're already involved in, that we just heard about, which is in support of Rotary's sustainability and environmental initiative. And I've been out of the corporate world for about 15 years, now 14 years. And since I left corporate life, I've been spending my time working, learning, volunteering, and teaching almost all the time about nature and the environment. And so I'd like to share some of my experiences, but in the context of challenging your club to take an initiative to improve your local environment here in Schaumburg and Hoffman Estates. This is a photo of a Buffalo Grove Rotary project from 2008. We planted and launched a floating island out into the lake in one of our local parks. It's a habitat, a floating habitat. But the important thing is that the success of that project led Martha and me directly to founding the Buffalo Grove Environmental Action Team the next year.
Which is a committee of the Buffalo Grove Park District.
Next slide. So last year we celebrated 10 years of service to the local environment in Buffalo Grove. Here are some of the projects we've been involved in. Most of them now have become annual events for our community. So we have an annual green fair associated with our farmers market, where we have 20 plus booths for recycling and other groups that want to talk about their contributions to the local environment. We have gotten behind. We had the first electronics recycling event in Buffalo Grove. The village took it over for us, and now we serve as the core of the volunteer group who run that each September. We've gotten behind energy reduction power savings programs. We helped facilitate the first electrical aggregation program in Buffalo Grove. And that aggregation purchased green energy, renewable energy credits as the source of power for all of our residents in Buffalo Grove, which we felt really good about. My thing is ecological restoration and healthy habitats. So we've done a lot of outdoor projects. Clean water is another thing of mine. I'll talk about some of the work that I've done in the Buffalo Creek watershed, just north of you here. And we've also gotten behind bike trails and transportation initiatives in our community. And here's a photo of us cleaning up litter. We maintain a stretch of road near our metro station, and twice a year our team cleans up litter. And then one of my outlets for my energy is maintaining the Buffalo Grove Prairie. It's an unplowed prairie. Our group has been working there and trying to keep it nice and healthy and pristine now for 31 years. I became steward there 3 years ago, and I just can't get out there often enough. But one reason why I mention this is you have splendid natural areas in Schaumburg and Hoffman Estates. And some of the opportunities I'll challenge you to consider have to do with those places. Next. So my work in clean water started in 2012 while I was a graduate student. So I was very proud to hear about the breakthrough at the University of Illinois. I got my master's in my MS in natural resources from U of I in 2014. And so I'm a proud alumni. But I got involved in this watershed group. Buffalo Creek is the stream that runs through Buffalo Grove, but it starts up in Lake Zurich and Palatine, runs through 9 communities in Southern Lake and Northern Cook County. And we've been working on trying to address some of the issues there. And I thought that I could share a little bit of information about that and some of the ramifications of these little streams that drain our communities. If we were in another part of the world, we'd have to get our drinking water from our local stream. And you know about that because of Rotary's clean water initiatives around the world. But since we don't, since we've got this big pool called Lake Michigan, where we get all our clean water from, our little urban streams are pretty degraded and polluted, and we have the luxury of being able to ignore that. But the pollution problems that we have continue on down as that water flows all the way into the Des Plaines River, the Illinois River, the Mississippi River, and out into the Gulf of Mexico. So I've taken an interest in some initiatives in trying to do things with starting in our local watershed. So the next slide has a list of issues that our watershed group has tried to address since 2012. I started this watershed group while I was a student, and my research and my capstone project were directly related to this work. So pollution, talk about some of those issues, flooding. In my research about Schaumburg, it's not a big flooding town, but in Buffalo Grove and Wheeling, where Buffalo Creek ends up, in the Des Plaines River and downstream, there's terrific flooding problems. And a lot of our work had to do with trying to improve and protect local communities from that impact. Erosion, degraded habitats. And I want to just very, very quickly talk you through some of the projects we've been working on to address those. So here we are. We had 12 public meetings where we pulled together village officials, interested parties, scientists, and others, and developed with a grant from the Illinois EPA, we developed a watershed plan. And next few slides talk about some of the elements of that watershed plan and contain some ideas for maybe things that your club can consider. So the first thing was water quality and pollution. We confirmed an earlier Illinois EPA study that showed that we had 4 or 5 impairments in our water quality right in that little stream that flows through the middle of Buffalo Grove. So it loads and loads of chloride each year from road salt applications. So public safety during winter suggests that we use salt to melt the ice and slush that collects on our roads, but it goes directly from the roads into our watersheds where it's poisonous to plants and animals and becomes dissolved in the water and it carries on downstream forever. Then there's the phosphate from fertilizers and old farm fields that's eroding into the streams and increasing algae blooms and other problems. And when those pollutants get in the water, they suck all of the oxygen out that are needed for fish and other healthy life in the streams and ponds and lakes in the watershed. So algae and sewage contribute to that dissolved oxygen that's needed for healthy stream waters. Fecal coliform, you might be surprised to learn that there's fecal bacteria in the water and there's pulses of it that change throughout the year. We tracked some of those sources in our water quality studies. And then there's just the murky stuff that gets into the water, mainly from algae and suspended soils in the water. Next. So we set up 15 water quality monitoring stations. This little black line is our watershed, starts up in Lake Zurich, Deer Park, Palatine, and we monitored for 2 seasons chemical water quality. So we took water samples, we ran them to a laboratory and basically confirmed the earlier findings of the EPA, but we were able to pinpoint some of those locations. And so that was a key input for our water quality part of our watershed plan. Next. And then it was fortunate that the Water Reclamation District of Cook County had set up a long-term monitoring station on Buffalo Creek. So we were able to go back and get more than 50 years of water quality data. And we homed in on 2 of the bad pollutants in Buffalo Creek, road salt, which has been increasing with the amount of urbanization and the amount of emphasis that people have put on having their roads clean and snow and ice free immediately after storms. Well, it has a huge implication on how much salt gets used and how much chloride gets released in streams. The good news is that the phosphate level has consistently gone down since the middle 60s with the removal of phosphate from detergents and soaps. So it's kind of a good news, bad news story. But the fact is that all of our urban streams in the whole region and across the U.S. Have their own water quality problems. Next slide. There's flooding, worse in Buffalo Grove than in Schaumburg, I believe. But the problem with flooding is all of these hard surfaces. Hard surfaces and draining of all the wetlands that used to be here have combined to increase the amount of flood water. We get these huge storms. The water flows off the parking lots, rooftops, roads, and grass surfaces and goes right into our streams where it contributes to flooding and erosion and these other problems. Across the entire Buffalo Creek watershed, approximately 25% of the surface area is these hard surfaces. So it's a big problem. We had huge, it seems like the news is that we have 100-year floods every 2 or 3 years now. There was another one in 2020. The last one was in 2013. And when they happened, the boat and the Flood, thank you for the pointer. That's our old street where we used to live in Buffalo Grove in 2013. These floods occur in a flash. They're more and more frequent, and they have significant, they cause significant damage. Next. Then, I don't know how many of you have stood in the middle of the stream next to your home and looked up at the eroded stream banks. But in 2014, we hired these 2 interns to do a survey. They walked 27 miles in the middle of the channel of Buffalo Creek. They took photos and they measured erosion and they studied what was going on in the stream banks. And they created a map of our watershed that we've been using as source information for identifying projects and getting grant money and other good causes. But that's the problem. One of the problems with these pulses of rainwater coming down the stream is that they wash out the streams, trees topple in, they become debris jams, and they aggravate flooding and other problems. And then my special interest is in degraded habitats. Again, because of flooding and other human impacts, we have these weed problems caused by invasive species. And Schaumburg and Hoffman Estates are really places with lots of natural areas, lots of natural habitats, and many, many opportunities for an energetic club to get involved in working with the local environment. Next. Are we running out of time?
How much? 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, cool. So we have several, probably $50 million worth of projects going on in Buffalo Creek, and the best projects address multiple issues: flooding, erosion, habitats, water quality, and provide improved recreation and aesthetics for visitors and residents. So lots of good things going on in our watershed. Next. And then finally, our watershed plan identified 750 little projects, site-specific projects, where these problems can be addressed on a very, very local basis. Next. So here's some ideas and some challenges for you. Martha, talk about ESRAG.
Rotary has an environmental sustainability Rotary action group, which anybody can join. I just joined recently since I became part of the task force. And I would really encourage you, if you're interested in these kind of issues, to become a member. And they offer seminars, or now Zoom programs on various topics. And we just listened to one on tree planting. And all of the Rotary clubs would give their successes and their ideas for how to do things differently when they did tree planting projects. So they always change the topic, so I would encourage you to join. They also have, we can give you a handbook of suggested projects that they have a great resource here. And I don't know who in the club would be interested in doing this, but it's something that could give you a lot of ideas of what you'd like to do.
So we had our own Buffalo Grove Rotary project. The club donated 3 trees for every member. So we took 150 trees and planted them, half in the village, half in the park district. They were all oaks and hickories, the kinds of trees that Buffalo Grove was named after. That grove along Buffalo Creek gave us our name. And of course, all those trees were cut down 100 years ago. But now we're trying to restore them through this type of Rotary project. I spent a little time trolling the Schaumburg and and Hoffman Estates websites, and there's some great cool stuff going on here. So there's a comprehensive green action plan for Schaumburg. Lots of good ideas there. Next. Here's the initiatives covered by the Green Action Plan and the things the Village of Schaumburg is doing specifically to be a more sustainable, environmentally friendly community. Next. Schaumburg Park District has a wonderful program called Adopt a Park, where community groups and individuals can adopt a park in their community and get involved in planting and restoring, adding green infrastructure in a local park. And that is something I think would be really exciting. It's something I hope we can bring back to our park district in Buffalo Grove. There's also a biodiversity plan, and I love this from the Hoffman. Go ahead. The Hoffman Estates Park District has a natural area management plan. Has actually over 350 acres of natural areas. And I know from my work in Buffalo Grove, we're always looking for volunteers and support and contributions, involvement such as our Martha's Club gave in purchasing those trees for our park district. Next. And then you have your own recycling extravaganza coming up in Schaumburg. Next. Schaumburg was recently recognized Silver for Solar for being a friendly community for people, businesses who want to install solar power for their homes and businesses. And I guess if there is any time left, we'd love to take your questions and discuss possible projects in addition to your support for recycling that you might be interested in.
First of all, thank you for being here, guys. We appreciate it. Community service chairs, Sarah Billmeyer, who was on the call. I don't think that she had their ask here. She's someone who is all about us pushing into a ecological sort of space and helping that out more with Rotary. I think that I'm always saying this to connect Sarah and you guys together. That's the person who you want to.
So that would be your guardian for your club.
Correct. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? Nanette?
You know, now that they put beet juice down, is that helping at all, or is that another problem?
Yeah. So the question was about applications of a slurry that includes beet juice or sugar from beet juice along with salt before a storm before a snowstorm ever occurs. And Buffalo Grove and many of the other communities are actually using that approach. It has several benefits. It lets the village get out in front of the storm and do this application before the snow even starts. It dramatically increases, but doesn't nearly eliminate the applications of road salt. And it significantly, from a cost sharing standpoint, also reduces the amount of overtime that these villages and agencies need to pay for their salt applications. So it's a great start. But it is still way too much salt being applied on our roads on an annual basis. Other creative ideas are out there, such as non-chloride salt, but I think it just requires a lot more work and study to get down to the bottom of that one.
So if we want to put together a project, you're the guys to go to for a good idea.
Yes, and I'm keeping a website of all the projects so you can see what other clubs are doing, and you can partner with other clubs if you want to too, and that's always a good thing to do. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I can get this to Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Thanks so much, Martha. Jeff, really appreciate it. And special thanks today, if you don't mind, please rise. Special thanks to my man, Tom Coach. Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate it. And like we always do with the four-way test. Terry Park, do you mind leading us the four-way test?
Four-way test, things we think, say, or do first.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial for all concerned?
This week, let your actions serve as a reminder for all to see that Rotary opens opportunities. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. I hope it was good today. We tried to get around a little bit more, so good. Hey, Bill, it's nice to see you.
Bye, guys.
I'm gonna end the meeting.
USA, USA, USA.
Pretty cool.